Demonetization of 1500 rupee notes in 2016 led to super fast adaptation of cashless modes of payment. The card swiping machines that were seen generally in big metros in big stores were suddenly seen in small townships also. The government, as we all know, is pushing it with full energy, but there is one segment that is offering very stiff resistance to it, and unfortunately they are quite effective in this. They are sabotaging the cashless initiative of the government. Let us see who are these people who are sabotaging the cashless India. Digital payments are good because they take away the problems of carrying change. There is no worry of soiled notes or of fake currency. There is no risk of pickpockets also. And since these are all recorded transactions, so it helps in restricting black money as well. Small businesses in small towns now have card swiping machines, allaying the anxiety, the fears of a former finance minister of the country. Now, small vendors, peanut sellers, and even beggars, they have UPI code with them. A laborer, an auto rickshaw, or an e-rickshaw all will have QR codes, and they happily accept cashless payments. The total number of transactions and the total value of transactions done through cashless modes is increasing with each passing day. It seems it is digital payment everywhere. Then we see there is a huge cluster of organizations that actually discourages digital transactions, discourages cashless transactions. Let us see who are these organizations. To understand how is cashless India discouraged and who is doing it, we should understand first that all methods are adopted to discourage it, to sabotage it. First can be by charging extra when you are paying through cashless mode of payment. Second can be by delaying the acknowledgement of payment if the payment has not been made in cash. The other problem is by accepting only some modes of payments as cashless and refusing to recognize that the other modes are also cashless payments. I hope you all must have guessed it by now. If not, then let us see one by one who are these bodies that show clear preference for cash payments and have contempt for cashless payments. The first are the petrol pumps. If you pay at any petrol pump by any mode other than cash or UPI, then you will have to cough out extra money, extra surcharge. Even for government's favorite RuPay cards, this surcharge is levied and is then reversed later. But this reversal is not universal, it is subject to certain conditions. So if you are fueling your scooter with 50 rupees petrol, then the surcharge might not come back. On the other hand, the lubricant seller just next to the petrol pump will swipe the card and will not charge you extra for this card transaction. So a Fortune 500 company refuses to bear this extra surcharge while a small business will absorb it. The next culprits are our post offices. There is hardly any post office that accepts even UPI payments. Some honest exceptions notwithstanding, the clerks sitting at these cash counters, they end up pocketing decent amount of money by keeping change at the end of the day. I have myself seen somebody buying 2 rupees revenue stamp, and when he tendered 10 rupee note, then 8 rupees were kept. They were not returned. I have also seen one person running to all the tea vendors, all the small chart vendors around the post office for a 1 rupee coin, because if he doesn't give 1 rupee coin, then the clerk sitting at the post office counter will keep his 5 rupee coin. And remember, mind you, when the 1 rupee coin is being tendered, then it should preferably be the older, bigger coin. The person might refuse to accept the newer, smaller coins. A small shopkeeper who has a turnover of say 40 lakhs, 50 lakh rupees in a year will absorb the merchant level discount MLD of 1.5 or 2%. MLD is the amount that the bank or the portal retains with them when the money is transferred to your account after card transactions. But IRCTC, Indian Railways ticket booking body, that had a profit of 1006 crores in the financial year ending in 2023, will ask for extra surcharge if you are paying through cards. Even again here, the government's favorite RuPay cards have to pay surcharge. That surcharge is reversed later, but this reversal is subject to certain conditions and is not universal. Forget absorbing merchant level discount. If a passenger is booking his ticket online and obviously making cashless payment, then he has to pay extra online booking fee, the online booking service charge, and this service charge is forfeited if you cancel the ticket, even if the ticket was waitlisted. On the other hand, tickets booked on cash counter, they demand only payment of fare, And when you cancel such tickets, then no amount is forfeited, only the railways deductions are kept, and the remaining amount is returned in full. This all when booking online and making cashless payment means the railways will not have to maintain the building, will not have to pay rent, will not have to pay electricity bill, will not have to put furniture, will not be buying computers, will not be keeping staff, will not be handling cash. So logically, there should have been a discount on online bookings because of this money saved and because the government wants to encourage cashless payments. When we consider all these extra charges and forfeitures, then we easily understand that why the IRCTC had almost 4,300 crore revenue in the financial year that ended in March 2024. When the money is being forfeited, being retained, then please do not think that you are helping railways with this money, because IRCTC is an independent body separate from railways. After IRCTC, how can the parent body, the railways, be left behind? The unreserved ticketing app UTS that has been launched by railways is a bit complicated. I myself tried to buy a platform ticket when I was at railway station at 2 a.m. in the night. At that time, the poor lady at the cash counter was sleeping because the railway station was empty. So I thought, why trouble her? I can buy a platform ticket through UTS app. I started it and the app said that please move away from the station these many meters, then only you can buy this ticket. Then I said okay. I knocked and made that lady wake up, gave her 10 rupees cash and bought the ticket. So if this is complicated for me, then imagine the uneducated people, less tech savvy people who are the ones who buy the unreserved tickets will be finding it very, very difficult. The relatively uncomplicated, simpler option that would have been the installation of or placement of UPI codes at the cash counters is generally conspicuous by its absence. Some namesake QR codes have been installed at very few big stations, and if the tickets are being purchased in cash, then you can understand the problem of change will be present there also. I fail to understand that even after 8 years of launch of UPI, why this has not been universally placed till now. This is much simpler than UTS. Then the next culprits we see are the electricity boards, state electricity boards. Almost all of them will charge you extra money if you are paying online through cards. One problem that sometimes arises here is that the payment is credited into your account 1 or 2 days later. So if your electricity got disconnected because of non-payment, then it will be restored later, maybe a day or two later. Even after making payment, your only fault was that you made cashless payment. So at the end of this discussion, we realized that the fly in the ointment is actually the government and the government bodies. This includes central government that pushes small businesses to go digital, to go cashless. This is something like that everybody says that the country needs a revolutionary. We should have Bhagat Singh, but Bhagat Singh should be born in neighbor's home. My family should not be made to wear any discomfort. There are some initiatives that are good, but they could have been better, like the Chalo card of Mumbai or the Delhi One card of National Capital. These initiatives are good for those who use these services frequently. But for a casual or infrequent user, it will be much simpler if they can make the payments, buy the things with their super apps, or if there are QR codes placed at convenient locations and every bus conductor is having a QR code so that they can make payment by UPI if the government genuinely wants to universalize cashless payments. As you can see, this order of Kolkata Metro comes in May 2024. 8 years after launch of UPI. So the half-heartedness is clearly visible. But I will say still it is better than those who have not adopted it even 8 years after its launch. The government actually needs to practice what it preaches. Cashless transactions can go up many-fold if the government is ready to bear some small losses and is ready to actually actively encourage the cashless transactions by setting an example. The government will have to recognize that modes other than UPI and RuPay card, like other cards, like checks, like demand drafts, like bank transfer, they all serve all the purposes of cashless India. So they should be given the same encouragements that are given to UPI and to the RuPay cards. The government has to be proactive. This can be understood by one recent example, that the vehicle scrappage policy was launched by central government in 2021. Initially, the policy was kept moving by scrappage of government vehicles, old government vehicles. Old buses of roadways corporations were scrapped in large numbers, and because of this reason, our own Uttar Pradesh Roadways has a fleet of very young buses. Today, this scrappage is being increasingly discussed in public and is being increasingly accepted. This is how everything should be done by the government. The government needs to focus on similar charity at home in case of cashless transactions also. Else they should stop pushing others also. Otherwise, if the government doesn't encourage it, then we are cursed to remain a cash-based economy. We have achieved a lot of milestones in cashless transactions in cashless India, but our actual potential remains untapped. I request everybody watching this video to please communicate this message to public representatives, to the government, and I hope anybody will listen. Thank you.